The Eva Creek Wind project has been more than a decade in the making. Wind studies began in 2003. It took 7 years of studies to identify Eva Creek as the most promising site. The combination of wind velocity and consistency and proximity to the intertie made Eva Creek the logical choice. When federal stimulus money became available, the board decided the time was right for wind power. The site is not accessible by highway. Eva Creek is located across the Nenana River. Every blade, turbine, hub, and tower would have to be delivered via the Alaska Railroad to the community of Ferry and trucked from there up an old mining road. Golden Valley began preparing the site and upgrading road access in the fall of 2011. The towers, hubs, and nacelles arrived at the Port of Anchorage in May and June of 2012. The huge components were loaded onto special trucks and hauled by night to minimize their impact on traffic. It took 60 semis to haul the components north. Mile-long convoys rolled up the park's highway under the midnight sun. The truckers took their loads to a railroad siding in Healy, where they were lifted onto rail cars for the short 10-mile trip north to Ferry. Meanwhile, the blades came up via the Alaska Railroad, aboard special rail cars that hung them from slings to keep them from being damaged. The blades arrived in Ferry twice a week during the month of June. They were carefully loaded onto trucks with a special crane and hauled up to a storage area to await construction. Meanwhile, crews were busy on the hilltop, preparing foundations for the 12 towers. Each foundation was 12 feet thick and consumed more than 850 tons of concrete and 34 tons of rebar. The 12 towers were erected in July and August. At the height of construction, 180 people were living and working at the remote site. The first rotor was assembled and ready to go up on August 3rd, but there was a problem.
Mother Nature worked with us this morning and we got the rotor built, but as of now, we're getting gusts over 34 mile an hour, so we're on standby right now, see what the wind's going to do.
Eventually, the winds subsided and the nacelle was lifted into place, followed by the rotor assembly. The wind project was dedicated August 29th, 2012. The first wind power hit the grid October 24th. Full commercial output began on January 7th, 2013.